In the heart of the Middle East, where diplomacy and danger often walk hand in hand, Iran has just made a statement that's rattling global nerves. Despite a barrage of recent strikes and mounting international pressure, Iran's nuclear ambitions remain unshaken, and the world is watching. So what exactly did Iran say, and what does it mean for the future of global peace? Let's break down what's actually unfolding right now. Just days ago, joint U.S. and Israeli operations launched a series of carefully coordinated strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, a campaign they called Operation Rising Lion. The targets? Iconic facilities like Natanz and Fordo, crucial to Iran's uranium enrichment efforts. But here's the twist. Iran's nuclear chief, Mohammad Eslami, was quick to address the world, announcing that teams were already assessing the damage and that restoration is already underway. Now, in a televised address that grabbed headlines, Eslami claimed, "There will be no disruptions in production and services." That's a power move, a signal to the U.S., Israel, and everyone else watching that Iran's nuclear program isn't backing down. The message could hardly be clearer. Iran is not about to be deterred. Iran, for its part, insists the entire nuclear program is peaceful. Officials argue, hey, enriching uranium to 60% is well within their rights under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. But most global powers don't see it that way. For them, enrichment beyond 20% is a hair's breadth from weapons grade, and that's where the alarms start blaring. So, how is the West reacting? The U.S. and its allies? They're skeptical, to put it mildly. U.S. intelligence says those strikes didn't wipe out Iran's program for good. They just set things back a few months. Israel, meanwhile, is calling the operation a warning shot, not a knockout punch. The International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, released a scathing report, accusing Iran of being biased and uncooperative. Iran, as you'd expect, flatly rejected that. Now here's where things get even more tense. Iran's parliament is actually drafting a bill to pull out of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty altogether. If that passes, it's a game changer, removing a major check on Iran's nuclear activities and putting the whole region on edge. Experts are calling it a potential point of no return. But let's look at the damage claims. Despite the airstrikes, Iranian authorities say the really critical stuff, centrifuge halls, enriched uranium stockpiles, were either spared or had already been moved. Satellite photos and foreign intelligence are still sorting out what's true and what's just spin. But Iran's tone is confident, almost defiant. Inside Iran, the narrative is totally different. State media frames the strikes as a failed Western provocation. You've got government supporters rallying in Tehran, waving flags and chanting slogans of resistance. But outside Iran, anxiety is growing, especially in Gulf capitals and Israel, over what Iran's next nuclear move might be. And the stakes? They could not be higher. A nuclear-armed Iran would upend the regional balance overnight, potentially kicking off an arms race and ramping up the risk of conflict. That's why global powers are tracking every step, every statement, every satellite image. So what happens next? Does Iran play ball with the IAEA? Do military strikes escalate? Or will diplomacy somehow pull everyone back from the brink? The next few weeks could define not just Iran's nuclear future, but the entire architecture of global security. The nuclear chessboard is set, and Iran just made a bold move. Stick around because this story isn't going anywhere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. I'll be watching the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.